Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to Game of Fortune, the final game for this run. Anyway, Richard and I stood up as we approached the door to look and see who was walking through. Alphonse and Maria. Alphonse, you made it. So it would seem. Hey, so that must mean that Maria must have made it out. What, do I have something on my face? How are you? Why are you? You look like you've seen a ghost. Are you really that surprised that I'm alive? But we got teamed up together. We won our game. That's all you need to know. I find it hard to believe that even teamed up together you'd win. You're the type that throws their life away for others, aren't you? He is. It was really annoying. The only reason we won was because that Maria girl was just as stubborn as he was. Everett looked pretty pissed the whole time too. I guess because he didn't have his usual partner with him. Honestly, I was glad that she finally got offed. It was really annoying having to deal with. Before William could utter another word, Alphonse picked him up by the collar of his hoodie and raised him up. You better be careful about the next words that come out of your mouth. Hey, you can't attack me here. You're not allowed to kill before a game starts. Even if that's the case, no one said anything about broken teeth and black eyes. But that's... William groaned and then clammed up as he looked away. Alphonse, seemingly satisfied by the silence, dropped him back down to the ground. Talk about her again, and I'll make sure to bust your jaw no matter what the rules say. Got it? William reluctantly shook his head before standing back up to his feet. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It was inevitable. In a way, I guess it's better that I saw what happened. Otherwise, I might have gotten mad wondering if she just screwed up or if someone else had it out for her, you know? Yeah, I know. Anyway, it sucks, but we're almost done at least. On the contrary, we're just getting started. What do you mean by that? I asked Alphonse, but he didn't answer, instead walking over toward a wall in the lounge and stared at some kind of picture on the wall. But this is... Oh, this is the first run. Oh wait, no. Yeah, this is the first run. There's a portrait of everyone here, every single person that was participating in these games. Why are there portraits of us all lined up like this? It's a rather pretty picture. That's not the point. Alphonse continued to look at the picture before turning away and offering me a smile. Huh, good news, kid. Looks like I'll be going easy on you. Thanks? No problem. Imagine it'll be like this for a while. Didn't understand what he meant, but I never understood anything that was going on here. William had a completely different reaction to Alphonse and myself, though. Oh wow, guess I really am the best. We're first. Well, I've got to win now. If I get the first wish, I'll go down in history as one of the greatest at the game. Is it really all that important for you to win this early? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I want people to know that I did amazingly well. Geez, you're narcissistic. You're just terrified of my amazing skills that have gotten me this far. They certainly have gotten you pretty far, haven't they? William nearly fell down as Belle manifested herself behind us. Miss me? I missed you. I mean, I haven't been face to face with you all in so long. I was afraid you'd start to forget my beautiful face. I think you'd be hard to forget, honestly. Thank you. I try to leave a good first impression. Anyway, it's about that time, isn't it, boys? Aren't you excited for the finale? The last game, the fourth round. 4 will enter and 1 will leave. Belle puffed into a cloud of blue smoke before appearing by the last door once more, beckoning us over with her hand. Come on, come one, come all. Or really, I guess it's come 4 and no more. Belle was waiting by the door, cheerful and jolly, as she's been from the start of the game. This is going to be it, isn't it? I believe so, our last game. The 4th round. The round I'm going to win decisively. That's the spirit. Now let's not dawdle. We're on a tight schedule. After snapping her fingers, the door opened wide and we proceeded to walk down a blue hall, with Belle whimsically escorting us through. The halls were silent if not for Belle humming. The only thing we'd hear were the echoing of our footsteps. You're all awfully quiet. Shouldn't you be excited? Or maybe you're thinking about a strategy for the next game. Maybe you're thinking about everything you've done up to this point. Well, don't stress out too much about it. After all, you're all just competitors from here on out. No matter how much you hate each other or care for one another, there can only be one winner. She was right. The unease continued to grow in me as I quickly looked between everyone. Richard and Alphonse. We just met today and yet it feels as though we'd already forged some kind of bond. I know that bond was going to be tested. We compete for our lives and for some wish that all these deaths would hopefully justify. As for William, I didn't know much about him aside from his crass attitude and how he had some connection to Elizabeth. I'd like to write him off, but I just couldn't shake off the nerves. Every one of these games had been some test of will, strength, or cleverness, and I could never tell who had what kind of abilities. But now wasn't the time for hesitation. Something was pushing me forward, something was telling me to keep going no matter the cost and not look back. I let that feeling light a fire in my heart and marched forward. No more regrets, no more doubts, no more self-pity. I was going to hold my head high and finish this game, and I was going to win. Belle marched us to the door at the end of the hallway and pushed them open. A flash of blue light blinded us for a moment until we saw what was before us. Welcome for Final Four to the last game, our finale. Please take a seat. We walked over to the table and each sat down while Belle circled us and made sure we felt comfortable. Are you ready to play? Would you let us leave if we said no? Of course not. We've come so far. Don't you want to see it out to the end? I suppose we're already here. Just get on with it. So rude, but I suppose that's what happens when you get antsy. I came here to win, not sit down and chat. Okay, then let me explain what you'll be playing. The final game is Dynamite. I'm sure that it will be, but can you explain what the game is? No, that's the name. It's called Dynamite. Ugh. First, you'll need these. Belle clapped her hands and a set of 4 cards appeared in front of each of us. Those will be your playing cards. Note that they're each numbered from 0 to 3. Really? Not 1 to 4? That seems a little out of character for you. Trust me, it's easier for us to if I all use this range of numbers. Anyway, now that you've all got your cards, let me explain the rules. Belle clapped her hands once more and a small spherical object appeared on the table. It looked kind of like a cartoonish bomb that you'd see on children's television shows. To win the game, all you have to do is survive and not get blown up by this bomb. Hence the name, I suppose. That's right, the bomb will start off in front of someone, like so. The position will be random, so... Belle pushed the bomb right in front of me, which naturally made me more than unsettled. After the bomb's initial placement has been determined, each of you has to set down a card. You set your card down by placing it face down on the table in front of you. Once you set it down, you can't take it back. After all the players have set their cards, you flip them over. We then add the numbers together, and the sum will determine how many times the bomb will rotate among the players before detonating. The bomb will move clockwise, just so you know. And that's it, those are the basic rules of Dynamite, so it's a game of chance. After each round of play, I'll remove the highest valued card from all the players' hands. So, for example, after the first round, I'll take away your 3 card, and then your 2 card. That's mainly to keep things simple. With less players around, you don't need as many cards to keep things interesting. Lastly, you can do whatever you want with your own cards, but you can't under any circumstances handle other players' cards. Any questions? I got one. There's no turn order when it comes to setting cards, right? We just do it whenever? That's right. No need to play polite, just set your card down wherever you like. Slam that sucker down. And you can't swap your card out once it's set. Nope, and don't try any sleight of hand tricks. I'll know and I'll punish you. I take that to mean an execution of some kind. You'd be right. My Alphonse, you're always so sharp. I respect that about you. Huh, got it. No more questions from me. Hey, I got a question. That's a bomb. How are you going to make sure that you don't blow us up when that thing goes off? Oh, silly Willy, have complete control over every aspect of this place. If I want a bomb to blow up and only kill one person, that's how it's going to be. If you want proof, look at this. Belle picked up the bomb and held it right up to William's face. Huh? Wait, I didn't want... The bomb flashed a blue light, a faint blue, before exploding in a spectrum of light and leaving a white, hazy smoke behind. We couldn't see much. The floor and parts of the table looked scorched from the blast. Holy shit, is he? Get that smoke away from me. William waved his hand to get the smoky fumes away from him. You're fine? Fine? My ears and eyes were just blasted with whatever that was. He's alive, which is I suppose as good as we can hope for. But everything around you looks like it got damaged. Controlled explosion, see? No harm will come to you if you don't let that bomb land on you. Any other questions? Alright then, let's begin the game. First, let's see who the bomb lands on. Belle clapped her hands and a new bomb appeared on the table. It rolled around a bit before coming to a stop in front of Richard. Richard idly looked at the bomb in front of him and then looked down at his cards. Guess that's some serious bad luck. Heh, seems that fortune's on my side. This is going to be a cakewalk. Hey, actually, you two managed to beat that Teresa girl and Elizabeth. Teresa, I don't know much about her personally, and I don't care if you did beat her, but Elizabeth... I can't believe Elizabeth lost to a bunch of chumps like you. Chumps? We went just as far as you did, and you're going to call us chumps? Well, Elizabeth is smart and wise and has tons of experience in this kind of thing. Can't imagine you could easily beat her. So either you cheated or she let you win. You should be grateful. I rolled my eyes and then looked down at my cards, and then at the table. In clockwise order, it was Richard, then Alphonse, myself, and finally William. We each had cards ranging from 0 to 3, meaning that the highest number we could all make was 12, and the lowest would be 0. I began to wonder what the average number would be, and how to best strategize, but Alphonse stopped all that as he tapped his hand on the table. Hey, let's make the first round an easy one, alright? What do you mean? I don't want to win this game, so if you'll look kindly just let me take the bomb, I'd appreciate it. You want the bomb? What kind of reverse psychology nonsense are you going on about? I just don't want to win right now. It'd be really inconvenient if that happened this early. You don't want to win right now? If you don't win and survive now, then when will you get your chance? I'll find a time and a place. Why should you care? I'm willing to take a step out of the competition right now if you let me. You're just lying. No one would try and lose this early, would they? Look, how about I just show you then? Alphonse took his cards and flipped them around for all to see. I'm going to sit down a 1 card so the bomb moves to me. All the rest of you have to do is sit down a 0 card and things should be fine, right? That would make sense. You're serious about doing this? Good grief. What more do I need to prove to you guys that I'm not interested in winning? I'll make it even easier, so you know I'm not pulling any tricks on you. Alphonse left his cards face up on the table, moving the 0, 2 and 3 cards off to the side, while he took the 1 card and set it right in front of him face down. There. Now you know for a fact that I'm not trying to pull one over you. I looked over at his face up cards. They're the exact ones that he put down. He didn't do any fancy tricks. At least none that I could see or understand. Was he really okay just losing and dying here? Well, I'm convinced, so the rest of us need to put out a 0 card, right? Yeah, it seems fair enough. Alright, I'll start and set down my card. Wait. So in the meta, Clyde? Well, just to be safe, why don't we all do what Alphonse just did? Show all our cards face up, and then we'll show each other setting our 0 card down. That way we can be sure no one's going to try anything sneaky. Why would anyone try to betray the group like that? I mean, Alphonse is asking to die, he doesn't want to win. What point is it not kicking him out early? Simple, because if he truly doesn't want to win, then you want to keep him alive for as long as possible. Hold on, that doesn't make any sense. William, don't be an idiot, just think for a second. If Alphonse really doesn't want to win, who would you rather have to face in the next round? Richard and I, who will try and play to win, or against one of us plus Alphonse, who clearly wants to lose? If you're the last two standing, then all that means is that you'd have an easy win. That makes sense, unless Alphonse wants us to think that, so he can coast to the last round and then win. I knew it was reverse psychology. William, stop overcomplicating things. Whether that's Alphonse's true aim or not doesn't matter. He's shown his hand, quite literally. All that matters is that we work together, and so using my idea should ensure that. Okay, I guess you're right. William flipped his cards over and moved the 0 card over to the side of the table. Richard followed suit and I did the same. We all looked at one another to make sure our cards were still out in the open and no one was trying anything funny. Should we do a countdown or something? Yeah, we can go on 3. Wait, like on 3 or is it like 1, 2, 3, go? Just set your card when I say 3, okay? Gotcha, on 3. We all took our card and put it in front of us. Everything seemed normal. Everything seemed to check out. I was feeling a little relieved knowing that maybe things would simply go without a hitch. That's what I thought, but my eyes couldn't help but notice something was off. Nothing major, it was really the tiniest thing. But it was the way Richard and William were holding their cards that were different. Richard had his card face down, hovering over the table, while William had his hovering face up over the table. Something in the back of my mind told me something was wrong. I needed to read into this a little more. Sounds like Richard's trying to do something. I couldn't help but think something was wrong with Richard's card. Why would he leave his card face down like that? Granted, I didn't have mine face up yet either, but I knew what I was going to play. My eyes wandered over toward his spare card. I focused and read them. 3, 2, and 1. Something the matter? Richard noticed me glancing over his cards. Nothing. Are we ready to go? I sheepishly rubbed the back of my neck, feeling a little silly for doubting him. Sure, we'd have to battle it out eventually. But right here? Probably not. Can we hurry up? Yeah. I guess it was William then. I looked back over and saw that Richard had flipped his card face down. Maybe he saw Richard and felt the pressure to follow suit. I hovered my card in front of my face and began to count down. 1, 2, 3. On 3, we all set our cards down on the table. Now we just have to flip them over, right? That should be the right way to go. Should we do another countdown? No point, just do it now. Alphonse flipped his card, revealing to no one's surprise the number 1. Richard went next, flipping his card and showing the number 0. I sighed again. I don't know why. I saw the cards at the table. I knew what his only card left would be. I flipped mine over, showing I too had put down a 0 card. Here we go. William fucked us over, right? Everything seemed to be going well. All that was left was William's card. Cool, looks like everyone followed the plan. I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, me too. I felt relieved hearing those words. It meant that he went along with the plan. Of course it did. I saw his cards after all. They were... Wait, his cards? His cards? I noticed the error in my judgment. William flipped his card over, revealing a 1. My heart sank and my lungs refused to breathe in air. Alright, so that should move the bomb over to Clyde, right? What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Before I could stand up and even think about smashing his head into the table, a brute force pulled me back in my seat. Teresa taught me a long time ago. Amazing how quick you can swap cards over when someone's not looking. Guessing she's watching over me from beyond the grave. You bastard, why didn't you go along with the plan? You explained it pretty obviously yourself. Why would I worry about Alphonse if he's just going to let himself lose later? You're way more of a threat. You killed your best friend in the first game, and then you beat Teresa and Elizabeth in the last game. If I want to win, I got to get you out of the picture. You asshole, you regret this. Probably not, especially since you're about to go boom soon. I tried to pull my arms out and off the chair, but it felt as though I was bound by an overwhelming force tying me down as I watched the bomb roll from Richard to Alphonse and then in front of me. I'll see you later, Clyde. The bomb blinked white for a moment before everything went white and then dark. No heat, no pain, just a flash of white. Is this how things were meant to play out? I was fooled by a sleight of hand trick. Did he swap his cards out when I was distracted? Why didn't I confirm and look at his upright cards? I'm so stupid. All this, and I just died to some chump that took advantage of my moment of weakness. No, I wouldn't let this be the end. I've come too damn far to let this punk-ass fool play me like this. I won't lose, I won't lose, I won't lose. Clyde, are you alright? I'm fine, my head just really hurt for a moment. It's all a haze. But wait, what just happened? Was that a memory? A vision? Something else? Shit, it's slipping away, I can't remember all the details. This feeling, this dread. I looked at William, who idly held his card over the table face up. I just felt like he was plotting something. There was something weird about that. Oh, fuck, here we go again. His card's already off to the side. Why was he holding his card in such a manner? Yeah, okay. We're doing this again. The reason he's got his card facing face up is so that... because he plans to swap his card. Perhaps he wants to switch it out for one of the cards face up off to the side and think we wouldn't notice. Now that can't be right. We're all too on edge. We'd notice unless we get distracted by something. And the cards are too far away from him to try something like that without us noticing. No, that can't be it. The answer must be something else. Yeah, there's a card underneath the one he's showing. If you put a card underneath it facing down, he could trick us into thinking about what the card he was going to play. That can't be it. All three of his other cards are already off to the side. He couldn't slip another one. Okay, so something else again. He won't set his card. The rules state for a card to be set, the card must be face down. Naturally, that's why Richard and myself are both holding our cards face down. And clearly setting them face up doesn't count. Since we've flipped our cards face up and then put them down in front of us, those times they haven't been counted as set before. William must know that and therefore is luring us into a false sense of security by showing his card like that. He expects us to think he's just going to flip his card face down when we do the countdown. And once we put all our cards down, he's going to keep his face up and then swap his card for something else. The guy's a bit more clever than he lets on, isn't he? Either way, I can't fall for the trap. I can call him out on it, but instead I might be able to capitalize it on it instead. Yeah, that ought to do the trick. Alright, we all ready? Yeah, I'm good to go. Come on, this is dragging on way too long. Let's just do it. Alright, on 3. 1, 2, 3. I flipped my card just before setting it down, but hid it underneath the palm of my hand. It wasn't elegant, but I just needed to look convincing enough. Richard's card went face down and William's, as I expected, his card was face up. Hey William, I think you messed up. Huh? What do you mean? I pointed to his face-up 0 card with my other hand as I leaned forward on the table. He looked down at his card and grinned before leaning back in the seat. In that brief moment, I reached for one of my cards and set it over top my face-up one and leaned back in my seat. I tucked the other card under my arm and looked at William. Maybe he'd noticed, maybe he didn't, but I'd find out soon enough depending on what he did. Oh, that, I guess I messed up. Sorry about that. No problem, just flip the card face down and we'll be fine. William looked over at the table and then smiled as he pulled the 0 card off the table. What are you doing? Sorry, Clyde, but I can't risk having someone like you making it to the next round. Seriously, you're going to do this? It's just a good strategy. No matter how much I look at it, Clyde's the biggest threat. Richard's kind of weird, but I'm sure that I could beat him in this kind of game, and Alphonse just wants to lose. But Clyde's got this sort of determination thing going on. It's a little overwhelming and intimidating, you know? So you're going to eliminate me from the game because you're scared? I like to call it strategic, but potato tomato. It's not even how the saying goes. Well, you're dead, so your opinion is invalid. William waggled a 1 card in the air before setting it face down. It was nice playing with you, Clyde. Now it's game over. Richard sighed and looked down at his card. Do we flip over our cards now? That's what the rules were. Alright, I'll do the honours of starting us off then. What's the matter, Clyde? You've been awfully quiet since ouch! William pulled his hand back from his card and received a nasty shock after trying to pull it up. What the hell? You fucking dumbass. What'd you say? Wait, hold on, I'm confused. Are we not supposed to flip our cards over yet? Not yet. After all, we haven't set our cards yet. What do you mean we haven't all set our cards yet? I set mine. Richard set his, and you set yours, and Clyde... I smirked as I pulled the top card off the table. What? But you... He looked over at my arm and finally noticed that only 2 of the cards were there. You cheating bastard, you tricked me. Look at the pot calling the kettle black. But you... He didn't have a rebuttal and could only stare down at his own card as he realised the pickle he was in. Hey man, now, before you go and make some kind of rash decision, we should honour Alphonse's wishes, you know. He wants out of the game. We should really let him out. Oh, is that what you think? Pretty sure you put down a 1 card just now, didn't you? That's... He sputtered as he shrunk down in his seat. The way I see it, I could play a 1 card and have you killed, or play a 3 card and kill Alphonse. If that's what you want to do. Wait, alright, give me another chance, man. I screwed up, okay? William quickly became a blubbering mess and was wildly whipping away tears. I just... Come on, man. You're so great and good at these games. I've been coasting through by sheer luck time and time again. I knew I couldn't win against you. I just had to take the chance. Please give me one more chance and I'll play honestly. God, this is pathetic. I didn't want to let this run on any longer than I had to. Kill William, of course. Why would I do anything else? Kill William. William tried to trick me once. I was not going to give him another chance. Even if he was telling the truth and his move was one of desperation and a feeling of inferiority, I couldn't let it cloud my judgment. This is my best move. Kill William now and take care of Alphonse next turn. I wouldn't know if I get another chance like this after all. I set down my 1 card and then sat back down. What did you play? You'll see soon enough. Flip over your cards. Alphonse started flipping his card over to reveal to no one's surprise the 1 card. Richard went next, revealing he'd set down a 0 card. William was next, looking over me with sobbing eyes and snot rolling down his nose. He hesitantly flipped his card over to reveal a 1. Please. There's no need to beg. I began to flip my card over. You mean you... The brief flicker of hope on William's face faded as he saw that I flipped my 1 card. I knew this was how it was going to end, but even so I felt a little stressed about thinking about the outcome. No. I can't lose. Sit down and accept your fate, kid. You want to win so badly? Just try harder next time. Everyone loses eventually, you're no special case. William stopped struggling and bit down on his lip and clutched the arms of the chair. There was a moment of calm and understanding in him as he tried to keep himself from panicking. Then he turned his head and glared at me. I'm going to beat you. I'm not going to take this lying down. The bomb rolled around, stopping at Alphonse, then me, and finally in front of William, who was still crying, even if he was trying his best to control himself. You hear me? I'm going to win. I'm going to beat you in the finals. Sure, I'll see you again. I don't know why I said that. Like, the times before something seemed to just overtake me. I spoke without thinking, not even understanding what my words meant. But before I could understand everything, the bomb flashed white for a moment, and a loud, focused explosion blasted the room. I had to rub my eyes before I could see. Nothing had but the seared, smoking body of William slumped in the seat. Everything else, though, his chair, the table, the cards, were untouched. Alright, that was quite a fun round. Let me just get rid of the body. Bell was quick to dispose of the body by sinking it through a hole right under William's chair. It'd be a real downer to see a charred corpse of your opponent at the table. Or maybe invigorating. I don't judge. And now the cards. Bell reached over and plucked the 3 card from each of our hands. Alright, round 2. What will you do? Bell dropped another bomb on the table which rolled around until it finally stopped in front of Alphonse. Ah, wonderful. With William out of the way, this should be easy as pie. Alphonse did as he did last round, putting his card face up on the table. Oh shit. This shouldn't take long now, should it? No, it shouldn't. I followed Alphonse's lead and showed my cards, moving the others to the side before taking my 0 card and hovering it above the table. Richard did the same. While we were both going through the motions, there was a sense of tension between us. It wasn't this round. We knew that it didn't matter here. It was the future, the inevitable final round that I was worrying. Maybe that's why he looked down at his card and frowned slightly. Hey, don't lose focus now. Whatever you two have to deal with, do it the next round. I seriously don't want to get fucked over by you two. In fact, Alphonse reached over and grabbed my face-up cards. Hey! Look, this is just going to work out faster. You don't have to worry about either one of you betraying one another. What do you... Hey, you can't do that, Alphonse. It's against the rules. Yeah, I know. The fuck are you going to do about it? You don't get to ruin our game and not suffer the consequences. The bomb blinked red and let out an ominous beeping noise, and without waiting another second, exploded in a similar fashion than it had only a few seconds ago. All that was left was the charred corpse of Alphonse sitting in the chair. That was a bit hasty, don't you think? What the fuck? I know he wanted to lose, but you didn't have to go and do all that. I guess to him he'd rather not deal with the idea of one of us betraying one another and being put in the finale. Really. He up and wanted to die? Ugh, those people are the worst. The worst. Can't believe I'm going to have to deal with this all game. Val pointed as he kicked Alphonse's chair over, and then just glared at the body for a few seconds before taking a deep breath and relaxing. Okay, moment over. Let's just move him along. Val snapped her fingers and Alphonse's body just seemed to fizzle into dust. Huh. Don't worry about it, you got a game to play. No, you just turned him to dust. Dust, sand, silt. What's it matter when your life's on the line? Do you want to end up the same as him? Not particularly. What about you, Richard? I'd rather not. Good, then just win. Belle plucked Richard's 2 card and did the same with mine. Then she reached behind her back and pulled the last bomb of the game and put it on the table. It rolled around going between Richard and me before finally stopping. In front of me. In the end, it really doesn't matter who the bomb is in front of, does it? I guess not, especially since we only have 2 cards in hand. We can each play a 1 or a 0. In reality, our cards are more like keep the bomb or give the bomb away. And whoever can solve the puzzle of what the other player is playing will win or lose if they so desire it. Do you want to lose? Not particularly. Don't get me wrong, I think you're a nice enough guy, Clyde, and maybe this is your chance at winning, but it's also my chance too. Then we're both playing to win then. It's not really a game if no one's trying to win, is it? So the real question is, how are we going to play? What do you mean, how are we going to play? All we can do is sit down a card. Well, you're right, but think about all the tricks that we've been employing in the games we've played. There's always a way to tip the game in your favor, some trick, some plan to try and put yourself in an advantageous state. We could play a game of wits, try to figure out a surefire way to win, or we could play an honest game and try to read one another. Honestly, I'd rather we just do this without having to trick one another. That'd be ideal, wouldn't it? But you can never tell someone's intentions from just words. William made that clear enough. Still, it's not like one of us would admit to trying to trick the other person, right? I suppose you're right. Then all we can do is play how we think would benefit us. Right. Well, how about this? Can we at least agree on who plays first? Agree? How do we do something like that? Well, you could flip a coin or something like that. What about the cards? They're basically coins. In the sense that they have a head and a tail, so are the cards as equal as coins when it comes to flipping? No idea, but I mean, it looks fair enough, doesn't it? I suppose you're right. Since I thought of the idea, do you want to flip the cards? I trust you. You can flip the card. Okay, that sounds good enough for me. Pick one of my cards at random and chucked it in the air. Heads. The card slowly began to twist and twirl in the air and slowly made its way down toward the table. Shit! I realized how dangerous the situation was and quickly swiped the card out of the air before it landed on the table. Is there a reason why you didn't let the card fall? I glared at Richard, who seemed to be confused by my sudden and intense stare. There's a chance the card would have fallen in front of me, face down. And since he was looking at the card flipping over and over again in the air, he'd know exactly what card had been placed down. Granted, it wasn't a guarantee it would end up like that, but still. Nothing, maybe we could do something else. Okay, what do you suggest? Here, we'll do this instead. I grabbed both my cards and hid them behind my back. I'll shuffle them behind me, and then hold out with the backs facing you. All you have to do is guess which hand has the 1 in it. If you guess right, you'll go first. If you guess wrong, and if you're wrong, then I'll go first. Oh, if you guess right, I'll go first. Sounds fair enough. Good, good. I sighed and then shuffled the cards behind my back, swapping them from hand to hand before bringing them up in front of my face. The 0 card was in my left hand, the 1 card was in my right. Richard looked between each card, quietly humming to himself. I think I'll pick... He raised his hand up in the air and I watched his eyes dart between the cards. Then suddenly his eyes locked onto mine. Shit! He smirked as he pointed to my right hand. That one! The bastard, how could I forget? How could I forget he could know just by looking at me? I don't have a poker face. He could read my eyes, as if they were mirrors reflecting the cards as clear as day. My hand shook as I flipped the card to reveal that he was right, meaning I had to go first. Great. Well, by all means, go ahead and place down your card. I looked down at my cards, realizing the folly I'd made. It didn't matter which card I picked, because Richard would be glaring at my eyes, reading every emotional clue that I could give him. He'd be able to read my fear, terror, excitement, relief, surprise, joy, and anguish. In that case, just don't look at it. Put down a card that you don't know which one it is. Every emotion was painted on my face, and he could read it. I may have just flipped my cards around and showed him what I was putting down. As long as his eyes were glaring at me, I'd have no choice but to lose. I was gonna lose. I was gonna die. My heart began to pound through my chest. Despair began to flood my mind, as all I could think about was how doomed I was. Eventually it overflowed. My eyes began to water and I couldn't control myself. My body shivered as my eyes focused on my cards. It was hopeless. Well, near hopeless. I only had one option left. Richard, can you turn away, please? It was a pathetic and pitiable display. I couldn't control my tears from rolling down my eyes as they dripped on the table. I don't want you to look at me like this. Richard frowned for a moment, probably sizing me up to see if I was playing some trick. But he'd know. He'd know as soon as he saw my misty, despair-filled eyes that I was out of tricks, out of ideas. Well, out of good ideas, anyway. Eventually he sighed and turned his back toward me in the seat. This is it. This is my only hope. I looked at my cards for just a moment, then locked eyes shut and began to shuffle them. I needed to fool myself. I needed to be unable to tell what card I was going to put down. It didn't matter if Richard could read my eyes. If I myself didn't know what card I was going to set. It was random. It was luck. It could all be based on fate. But a 50% chance is better than a 0% chance. I had to win. I had to win even if it was by sheer luck. I opened my eyes and put one card to the side, and then prepared to slam down my unknown card on the table and leave the rest up to chance. Is this really how you want things to end? I stopped, my hand hovering just inches above the table as I looked over at Richard, who still had his back to me. What? Every victory you've had up to now has been by your own will, hasn't it? Are you really going to leave things like this up to chance now? Would you be satisfied with a victory that wasn't by your strengths? That you let fate either drag you across victory or pull you into hell? Was this journey really nothing to you? Are you truly that weak? I can't win like this, Richard. You're just trying to trick me into thinking that I should face you head on. I can't win. I can't win when you can read my face so easily. I don't care. I don't care if I have to rely on fate. I don't care if I'm weak. What does it matter now? Is that really how you feel? Would you be satisfied with a gamble like that? Aren't you afraid of leaving things to fate? Don't you want to take things in your own hands? No. I want to, but I can't. I'm not like you. I don't have anything I can rely on. You idiot. What have you been relying on this whole time? Was it just luck you survived it to this point? I know he's taunting me. He just wants to know what card I put down. He doesn't want me to leave it up to a gamble. So why? Why am I hesitating? There's no trick. There's no victory for me in a game of honor. What's holding me back? What's keeping me from putting my hand down? What's stopping me? You can do this. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. But I guess in the next one, we're going to be ending Dynamite. I'm reaching whatever end we're going to be reaching here, but I'm not actually sure. Haven't we already had Richard's ending? I know we haven't had Clyde's ending, but I thought that was going to be that one that's locked off. But it has to be one or the other. Maybe I didn't get Richard's ending. Maybe it was his father? No. Oh, well, anyway. Thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one.